Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important example where we will learn about pristine and dirty. I'm sure like you have heard this term whenever you are working with a angular form. So there like we talked about these basic form state, that is pristine and dirty. So by the end of this session you will be able to understand what is pristine when it turns on, what is dirty when its indicator turn on. Okay, so these all things we are going to discuss in this particular session. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for time being we are just mainly focusing on how to use angular form states, that is pristine and dirty. Okay, so now I think we are good to start with the session. So here you can see I have firstly put one main heading that shows angular course by Sharmit, and after that we have heading that shows today's topic name, that is template driven form example in Angular, basic form state, pristine versus dirty. And after that we have one horizontal line that shows one line just to separate out these heading with the actual example. Now below to this, what we are going to do, we are going to create one example. So let me explain you the requirement and definition first. So firstly we will start with the definition. So what is pristine? So pristine is a state, let's say if there is an input field, and if you haven't changed anything in that input field, if you haven't modified anything in that input field, then in that case what will happen, it will simply keep that indicator as true. That means it is a boolean value, right? So it will show that this field is unchanged or unmodified. Okay, if user didn't change anything. On the other hand, we have dirty. So dirty is a state when user changed something in the input field. Okay, so you can assume there is one input field, and when you start typing something in that application, in that input field, then it will be considered as a dirty. So we have two terms, pristine versus dirty. Pristine means unchanged, and it is the default state, like whenever the application loads it comes with this pristine, and when user types something there, then it will become a dirty. So let me explain this thing with an example. So as per the requirement, we will create one form here. So let's create the form. Okay, form. Now in this form we will assign one template reference variable. So in this case I will use the template reference variable as my form. We will assign with ng form. And remember one thing, like to use this ng form, prior to that you should import these two important thing in component.ts file. So here we should import forms module and ng if. Forms module to use the form, and ng if to add the conditional statement, right? And always make sure that it is imported here as well, otherwise it won't work. Okay, so I have imported it, that's why like it is not showing any error for me. Maybe if you haven't imported yet, it will show you the error. Clear? Fine. Now after this, what we will do, we will create one input field. So let me add the input field, and this in this input field we will mention the type as text. Then we will assign the name. In name we will write here username. Then we will write here ng model. Then we will write here template reference variable to assign this ng model. So let's say username ctrl. Okay, which is nothing but a ng model. Perfect. And after this, like if you want to keep a placeholder, you can, otherwise you can add a separate label. So I will add here separate label here. Okay, so let's add the separate label, and in this label I will mention it as username. Perfect. So this thing is ready. We have one input field, we have one label. Now next we have is the paragraph. Okay, so let me add the paragraph, and in this paragraph we will use, let's say, strong. Okay, and in this strong I will mention pristine. Okay, and so this is just it will act as a label only, but it will be in a bold format, right? So after this I will write here username control dot and then we will write here Pristine. Perfect. So this will let us know, it will show us that the value of Pristine, that is either true or a false. Likewise, we will add the second paragraph where we will add another strong, and in this strong we will mention dirty. Okay, so dirty. Okay, and then we will add here opening closing curly braces, username, control dot dirty. Perfect. So this thing is ready. Now we have two paragraphs. One paragraph is showing Pristine value and second one is showing the dirty value. Now also we will add the customized message according to their boolean value. So for that we will add the paragraph, and here we will use ngIf. So star ngIf. Remember, before using this ngIf, it should be imported here as I mentioned. Okay, otherwise it won't work. Now here I will write username control dot Pristine. If it is a Pristine, then we will show the message that is input is still unchanged. Okay, this is the message I want to show for the first time. Likewise, we will add the second paragraph, and here I will add the second condition, that is ngIf, where I will mention username control dot dirty, where I will mention user has changed the value. Okay, so this is the second message which we will get as per the condition. Perfect. So I think now code wise we are good. Now we will simply run this application to verify the output. So for that, let's write here ng serve -- open, enter. Just wait for a few seconds, then it will show you the browser with all the headings and all. I think we can also add one more horizontal row, otherwise it won't look good. So let's add one more horizontal row after this. Now it looks good. Perfect. Alright, so now you can see, firstly we have got this heading, that is Angular course by Sharmit. Then we have second heading that shows the title name, that is template driven form example in Angular, basic form state, Pristine versus dirty. Okay, and post that we have one horizontal row, and after that we have username field with input field. Currently Pristine value is true, dirty value is false, and it is showing input is still unchanged. That means Pristine is active right now. Why? Because we haven't changed anything, right? If I write something here ABC, so now you can see immediately it turned into false. So now the value of Pristine is false. On the other hand, dirty value is changed to true. Why? Because whenever you just change something here, it will become true because now it is dirty. Okay, and now you can see user has changed the value. So as per the condition. Now what do you think? Like if I clear this, will it change the Pristine value again? No. Why? Because we have changed it and then we have again reset it. So in that case it will show that yes, it is still false. Why? Because we have already changed it. And that is true because we have changed the values, right? So just make it a very simple understanding that if you have changed something, then Pristine will become false. If you have changed something, then dirty will become true. So they work opposite to each other. Okay, but if I refresh the applications, then it will by default come dirty as false because we haven't changed it, and as we haven't changed it, that's why Pristine value is true. Okay, so overall this thing you should know, and you can also see the messages are also working properly. Like when I make it ABC or anything, maybe 1 2 3 or any number, so it will show user has changed the value, which is nothing but a message. Clear? So this is how like all thing works when we are working with the states, and maybe right now you think how we will use it, but like when you are working with an actual projects, then you will find out like yes, why it is so important to learn about these concepts, these states, because it would be very helpful for us. Okay, so that is why like we covered it in a very simple example, and in the upcoming session also we will cover few more these kind of states. But before that, please do practice, because if you know about the concept, then things would be really very easy for your projects. Okay, So yeah, that's all for today. See you in the next session with new topics. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.